and go ahead and mute myself.
All right, welcome to the Austin Poetry Society May meeting and annual awards ceremony. We are happy that you're all here virtually. It's an unusual sort of ceremony, but these are unusual times. So we are glad that each of you was able to join and master the weird technology and the strange boxes and muting and screen sharing and all of that sort of thing, just to come together and hear some wonderful poetry. This year for me has been a strange one, and so I am really I have been not super involved this year because of some family crises, and so I'm looking forward to hearing the winning poems. I haven't, other than the contests that I judged, I have no idea who has won and who hasn't, and what it looks like. But I know every year we have a great crop of poems and a wonderful crop of poets. So let's get the party started. Thank you so much, Krista, for handling the awards and putting everything together. I really, really appreciate y'all doing. Everybody kind of stepped in this spring, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Diane. And I will have to screen share. It will take a little bit until it comes up. So just give me a few seconds. Okay, there it is. This is a little bit of an introduction to give you an idea how many people entered and all. So the society offered 19 awards, of which number 2, the spoken word, of course, could not be awarded this year due to the limitations of meeting online. 19 people ventured to have their poems judged, some entering almost every contest and others just a select few. There were a total of 185 poems photos submitted. As always, contest number 1 was the most popular and drew 25 entries. Several people, of course, entered multiple poems, which paid off for them, I have to say. Some other contests barely made the minimum of five entries, but all except for 2, which received only 1 entry, made at least the minimum requirements. A few poems had to be rejected, and that is something that people may want to realize, as they did not adhere to the specified length or format of the individual contest. If there were so many lines and they had many more lines or something like that, then we had to throw those poems out. Or if instead of a sonnet they submitted something else, then of course that was not appropriate. Tony Burnett of Callisto Gaia Press donated 2 prizes. The others were donated by members of the society for a combined total of $1,600.60. That's quite a sum of money to be raising just from donations out of the group itself. Most contests were judged by their donors, except for contest number 1, which was judged by Alison Whipple. Number 8 was judged by Ruth Susan Rook, and number 14 I judged, and I had not looked at the poems. I mean, when you are organizing it, you don't necessarily read the poems while you are organizing. While the overall quality was good, the judge in contest number 3 awarded only 1 first prize, finding the other poems not worthy of a prize. On the other hand, the donor judge of number 13, which is Tony Burnett, added a third runner-up to the prize money. And number 16 received a second first prize for a tie, because there was also, I can't decide, I better make another, and I add another first prize rather than to say do a second prize. So this is this is the basically introduction. And now comes the big moment, and I will start from 1. I was told should have started from the back to the front, but I'm sorry. You're all adults, so you can handle knowing first and last. Here we go. The winners are Tara Tara, the Austin Poetry Society Award. There were 13 people who entered it and 25 poems were submitted. Juan Borland won the number 1. James Trask won number 2, and Barbara Blanks was the third prize winner. An honorable mention went to Susan Rogers. So congratulations to all of you, and I'm glad, except for one, everybody is here to be congratulated. Number 2, of course, we did not award. Number 3 is the one where we have only one instead of 3. And Laverne Spencer McCarthy won that contest. The funny side of life, where we had 11 entries, but one of them had to be rejected. Barbara Blanks won the first prize, Laverne Spencer McCarthy the second, and Ilana Larson the third. So congratulations to the 2 of you who are here. The Poetry of Presence, where the donors are also here, had 8 awards. 8 entries. And Elizabeth Croft won the number 1. Susan Rogers was number 2. Alana Larson was number 3. And Benjamin Nash got an honorable mention. All 3 of you are here. Congratulations to you 3. The Road Trip Award. 12 people entered it. Michelle Hartman won number 1. Bradley Strahan won the second prize. Susan Rogers won third prize, and the honorable mention went to Jeffrey Taylor. So thank you all. There are about 3 of you are here in the room. So congratulations to you all. The unexpected was something that a lot of people were interested in, and so it drew 14 entries. Carrie Utner, you won the first prize. Susan Rogers, the second. Maria Wells, the third. Sergio, you got an honorable mention, and James Trask, you also got an honorable mention. And I'm so glad that all 5 of you are here to enjoy your winnings. Fill in the blanks, number 8. 15 people entered, and the donor is here, which is very nice. The first prize went to Bradley Strahan, second went to Von Borland, and third went to Elizabeth Croft. So the donor and 2 of the winners are here. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you for sponsoring. The World Peace Award, 8 people entered, and Greg Silver won the first prize. James Trask won second, Barbara Blanks third, and honorable mention went to Von Borland. So here we have at least 2 of you present, and I'm glad you're here to enjoy. The number 10 Trick or Treat Award drew only 8 entrants, surprisingly. James Trask won the first one. Jerry Hardesty won second prize. Von Borland the third, and Michelle Hartman the honorable mention. And I just realized there is a D missing, but anyway. The Optimist Award, sponsored by Claire, Laverne Spencer McCarthy won. Oh yeah, 13 people entered that one. So Laverne Spencer McCarthy won the first prize, Jerry Hardesty the second, and Carrie Utner, you won the third. So that's very nice. The donor and one awardee are here. And then the I Remember Award, 8 people entered. It's surprising that only 8 people remembered something. Brad Strahan won the first prize, James Trask won second, and Michelle Hartman won third. So the donor and 2 people are here to enjoy. The Dark Side Award, that I think is what Tony sponsored. 15 people entered it, and 1 had to be rejected because there was a very strict form requirement. It was either 13, 24, or 39 lines, and the one poem didn't fit either one of those. It was just a poem. So anyway, first prize went to Michelle Hartman. These runner-ups are not in any kind of order. They just runner-ups. They are not 1, 2, or 3. James Trask, you won 1. Ilana Larson, you won 1. and Kerry Utner, you won one. So three of the three runner-ups are here. That's very nice. And those have a little money attached. Honorable mentions usually don't, but these have, I think, a $13 prize attached or something. The Marion McNeil Logan Memorial Award had only 7 entries. Brad Strahan won the first one, Barbara Blanks, you won second, and Alana, you won third, which is wonderful. So you all three can enjoy it. And then the Haiku Century Delight Award drew 10 people's entries, and Ron Borland won the first prize, Elizabeth won the second, and Laverne Spencer McCarthy won the third. So Elizabeth, you can enjoy, and of course, thank you, Claire. The Fall Fun Award, 9 people only entered. You would think that that would have drawn a lot more people, but anyway, maybe these are not fun times anymore. Barbara Blanks, you won the first. Jerry Hardesty won second, and Kerry, you won third prize. Very good. And then Laverne Spencer McCarthy won. Oh no, I'm sorry. Barbara Blanks and Jerry Hardesty won each first prize. There is a tie. And then second went to Kerry Utner, and the third went to Laverne McCarthy. And then the sonnet, the Shakespearean sonnet always draws only a very few people, because most people don't even know how to write a song. So here is the first winner. The first prize went to Laverne Spencer McCarthy. James Trask won the second, and Jerry Hardesty won third. And then the Tomorrow's Poets Today Award, James Trask, you won the first prize on that one, and that's a pretty fat one. And Bradley, you won the second. And Alita, I'm glad you are here, because you won the cover art contest. So I'm very glad that so many of you who won something are also here, and some of you donors, I mean, most of the donors were here. So that makes it extra special. And thank you all donors for giving the money, and thank you all entrants for venturing out and writing the poems for it. So that concludes the first part of now that you all know who is what. And if anybody has a question, I will gladly answer it and get out of this share, and I will share another screen after this.
Krista, thank you. That was really well done. When you put the poems on the screen, is there any way that you can make them a little bit bigger, so that if people are reading off the screen, it's a little easier to see?
They will be bigger.
Oh, great. Thank you.
They will be automatically bigger. I mean, this was just, but I can probably make them also bigger. Are you ready for the readings?
Yay!
Anybody else entering?
Huh? I have a question.
Krista,
you said that number 8 was judged by Susan Rook. Number 8 was my contest, yes. And I judged it.
No, you didn't.
Else?
You gave the money, but you didn't judge it.
I was supposed to judge it.
That I was not aware that you were supposed to judge it. I'm sorry. Again, one of those miscommunications. As you can imagine, we had no president. We had no real former chairman for this award, so I just was given the task to do it.
I didn't know if it was
I hope you are happy with whoever judged it.
Okay. I didn't know if it was an error. That's all.
Because she's a really good poet and writer in general. So I didn't think we did any. I hope we did justice to the poem and to your donorship. Any more questions at this stage?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Maria Wells.
Oh.
I'm not on.
No, Maria Wells is not here. I thought she was here.
Can you put me on?
Yes, Maria Wells, we can hear you. She doesn't have her camera on, Krista, but she's talking to us. Go ahead.
I was very glad about my poem "In Trieste by the Sea."
Yeah.
And I think you will enjoy what is behind the story, because it happened on the 21st of May, 2013, and I have been in touch with this person, mysterious person, for 7 years.
Oh.
And every year for the anniversary and for Valentine, he sent me roses. So, so it will happen next week on the 21st of May. So this is a poem with a meaning. Okay?
Very good. Very good. So I think this is one of the first prize winners, so you can read it then.
Would you like for me to read it?
No, the readings will come now.
Okay, but I thought you liked this story.
Yes, all of the first place poems will be read. Thank you. We look forward to it.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I need to get out of this screen. Oh, no, I'm really out. Wait a minute. Return to the meeting. New share. That's here they are. All right, here we are. And I hope it is big enough that you can read. Otherwise, yeah, that should be big enough. Can you all read?
I can't see the bottom of the
Oh
poem.
no, I will scroll it. I will scroll it as it comes up. I just want to see. I can make it a little smaller.
No, that's great. If you're going to scroll, it's great.
Let me see. Or I can make it 100%, but then some of them may not be easy to read. But I hope you have your poems with you. So
No.
here we are back to the first number one winner of first place winner, and she's not here. I don't know if anybody is willing to read it, or if any of you can read it from the screen.
Yeah.
If
I
you
can
make
make
it
it
back,
a little bigger if you need to read it from the screen, if somebody wants to read it.
Yes, we can, yeah.
Anybody wants to read it out loud? I'm not that, yeah, okay. Gary, can you read?
I'll read it out loud. Thank you. All right, it's called Sweetwater. And again, this is not my poem, just reading it out loud. Hope I do justice to it. I watched the cloud of dust flow skyward, wrap around the tractor as my daddy plowed the row in front of me. I'd volunteered to call him in for supper. I waved and grinned, then squinted. Fine dirt flew, burned eyes brought tears and coated teeth with gritty crunch. When Daddy stopped, I climbed aboard to win my reward, a sip of water, sweet and cool from a gallon jar Mama wrapped with a cup towel, drowned that morning under the windmill pump. Iron pipes cajoled the coldest water from the depths of sandy Texas soil. Although I drank my fill, the jug still held enough for Daddy to pour a sobbing stream to quench his thirst and trickle down his chin to drench a shirt already soaked with the salty sweat and splash cool windfall drops on my thirsty, sandy feet. Elixir drawn from the prodigious three-state subterranean aquifer, long fed by springs, reminded us of blessings God provides in times of drought or drenching floods. Today, I stand alone on furrowed soil and catch a glimpse of sparkling rainbow gems as sunlight shines on water droplets from a well. I smell the dampened ground, recall the times when thirst and outdoor yearnings both were satisfied with one small chosen chore.
Okay, here is Lavan is also not here, so anybody volunteer to read this one?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Are we there yet? A migrant child who holds his mother's hand will ask the question many times a day, is this America, the promised land? An innocent, he does not understand how long it takes a heart to find its way. A migrant child who holds his mother's hand may think all citadels he sees are grand, but soon perceives that he can never stay. Is this America, the promised land? He sees a barrier where soldiers stand with rifles drawn, encroachers kept at bay. a migrant child who holds his mother's hand, may find that dreams will not come true as planned. There comes a time when we can only pray, is this America, the promised land? Must we deny asylum, reprimand with angry words and deeds that cause dismay a migrant child who holds his mother's hand? Is this America, the promised land?
It's very nicely done form poem that sometimes these form poems the repeating lines can be very boring, but here they are very, very meaningful. Each time it shows up. The funny side of life. Okay. Barbara, your turn.
Okay.
Can you read
This
it?
is this is a minute form. In a hurry. They line up in the drive-through lane where they remain just wasting gas. I like to pass their backed up cars and park because without a pause, I walk inside where clerks provide my order just like that. A name that folks remain in cars and trucks like sitting ducks.
Yeah, I had to laugh when I read that poem, and I thought it is so true.
Yeah.
Recently, we
Based
had,
on experience.
yeah, we had to go somewhere, and somehow there was an enormous block of cars, and I thought, where are they going? And it turned out they were all going to Starbucks, staying in their lines and getting to Starbucks. And I mean, they blocked the road and everything, and entry to many other stores. And I thought, oh my, yeah. So I was reminded of this poem when I read it. I thought, oh yeah. The Poetry of Presence Award, and let me say that the donors and judges who are here made a comment on it and said it is incredibly tight, no extraneous details. We were fascinated at how you held this focus on the medium. In church, the church teaches this text generally on focusing on Saul and Samuel, and here you are leaving us to deal with the medium. So I hope some of you know the story on which this is based. So Elizabeth, can you read, or you don't have a screen?
No, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Medium at Endor, 1 Samuel 28:7. Soil separating life and death, bliss. She conjures children, parents, lovers, collecting a small stone from the earth for each encounter. She has no need for the living. She is brought out of exile to conjure for King Saul. She demands, why are you then laying a snare for my life? Another king is conjured, pronouncing death for Saul. She feeds King Saul his last meal, slaughtering calf, kneading flour to bake unleavened bread, breaking bread with one who could take her life.
That's a very harrowing story in the Bible. So thank you, Beth. Michelle Hartman is not here. Then we need another reader again. This is a little harder to read. Can anybody see it enough to read it? Because the reproduction is not all that great. Can somebody read it? You can't. Claire, you need to be unmuted.
I don't have my screen right this second. I can't read it.
Oh, it's okay. Claire,
Okay.
Claire's free to read it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
A hitching, hiking clown beckons. You pass him and don't stop, he will find and punish you. Better to run him over several times. Remove giant shoes, wig, rubber nose, placing carefully to the side. Detach his head, put body in the trunk. Burn the accoutrements. Save ashes, you'll need them later. Travel 100 miles, bury the body in deepest wooded area where middle school kids all like to explore. Another 100 miles, not in a straight line. For God's sake, don't let location of body parts form a triangle on a map. Bury still grinning head behind elementary school, eternally taunted by children he cannot frighten. Sprinkle ashes over dirt, chanting, "Can't sleep, clown will eat me." 47 times, light candle, cursing clown in Enochian. Once home, burn everything you own because he has your scent. Move across an ocean, live in terror, rest, knowing a stupid virgin will one day resurrect that clown and you realize you should have given him a ride and gotten it over with.
Oh,
Unexpected. And Carrie is here to read her own poem. Put the whole thing up. Yeah.
is there a way that you can put me back on?
You're still in the meeting, Maria.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I'm sorry. When you asked me if I want to have the picture, I had a mess behind me, I studied and I didn't want to. Now I clean it up. Can I come in? Can I come on the screen?
You want me to turn on your camera?
Yeah.
I
Don't worry about
think
it.
you have to do that. That's not something I do.
What, wait a minute, what do I do? View option. I click on view option.
There might be a little icon that looks like a camera that you can click on. It should be near your microphone. Do you have a camera?
There might be the word video that she needs to click on.
Where? Anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's my fault.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read my poem.
Yeah, maybe. Well, if I can read it, that will be nice.
Well, this is we're on number 7, which is mine, Growing Faces, but we'll continue through them after this.
Oh, okay. Mine is in Trieste by the sea.
Yeah, it will come. Don't worry.
We're going in order.
At number 7, yeah.
That's fun.
Okay, this is Growing Faces. The tree outside my window is growing faces. The creek behind my fence is growing limbs. The wind inside my chimney is growing voices. The fog across the lake is growing skin. The laundry on my clothesline is growing legs. The chimes in my garden are growing lungs. The cobwebs in my corners are growing eggs. The loose boards on my staircase are growing tongues. The street outside my house is growing shoulders. The lids on my secrets are growing styes. The cave beneath my land is growing molars. The darkness beyond my lamp is growing eyes. The cracks along my sidewalk are growing fingers. The holes in my back porch are growing nails. The ink blots on my paper are growing stingers. The stories in my head are growing tales.
Very interesting. Okay, here comes fill in the blanks. And Alma, I hope you are okay with who won the prize. Brad, can you read it from here? Brad, are you still there? Mr. Brad, did you leave the...
There, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, because I had to unmute.
Can you read it from here?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Irretrievable things. In 4-year-old eyes, the world hardly moves. My father's metal shop remains as it was, 1942, where I saw the model destroyer made to recruit sailors for a nation plunged, unready into war. Yet the shop was sold that very spring, so his skill could build real ships in Hingham's yard. Now I count back by disappearance of things, models and ships my father built, the shipyard itself, The sailors, dead then or like my father of time and chance. So much lies unretrieved. His onyx graduation ring left in a desk in Rockaway. His humor passed into senility, his hand on my shoulder. Now life piles up behind me, memory's sagging shelves weighed down with many weightless things. Walks in Belgian rain or on Paris streets, endless beaches, so many rails and roads passed over that the hum and clack of time's relentless engine seems to deafen even memory. There are so many pieces unconnected, no longer recognized. I can hardly tell which is memory, which fantasy, which unwanted yet not cast away. At 70, what happened now and then becomes like the still world of 4-year-old eyes.
There you go.
Very good. I hope, Barbara, you are not unhappy with the choice of the winner.
Any problem?
No.
Oh, okay.
And here is the World Peace Award, and Greg Silver is not here, so somebody else needs to read it. Who is willing?
Okay, I can read.
You can read it, okay.
What you let in. So easy being jaded, viewing others with a clenched fist instead of an open hand. I've got a none too subtle secret. What you let in frames your perspective. Does cynicism somehow dominate? Didn't get there on its own. Media bears its ugly side. In the olden days, there was some breathing room. We weren't immediately exposed to carnage. Fast forwarding, we question, was it always like this? Decency is out there. Could be it's harder to locate. Better still, it doesn't feed off of attention. Humility, thy words are good. We can't stop pursuing tenderness. Our world by itself isn't mean. It's your weary lens that paints the picture. Rediscover childhood fascination, and its binding spirit helps you grow whole. Cynicism isn't an adult inheritance. At worst, it's a cycle of abuse that can be discontinued if any one of us is brave enough to make the first move.
Yeah. Go, Greg.
Yay, Greg.
Now comes the Trick or Treat Award.
Mhm.
James is here to read his own poem.
Yeah, let me just read that. Hold on.
Let me see if I can bring, okay, here's the last one. Yeah, here's the whole poem.
I was going to read it off my screen, but for some reason it just disappeared. I set it up and everything. I'll just read it from your screen then.
Can you read it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had it up on my screen and I just went back to read it from my own screen and it disappeared. So I'm gonna come back and read it from your screen. Okay. Montville Outdoor Soccer, All Hallows Eve. A natural turf, wind augments, nighttime cool, strides, breaths lengthen. Position lights like understudies, fill in for tired stars. Field marked rectangular, disassociated of youth, now inventorying sweets, rediscovering pillows. Old men, gray, pale, blue-lined, knee and back supports, lumber, between two frames, spiral around a hex-sewn ball. The near dead, eluding ghost, heavy years unwrapped, chased, some forgotten, like brothers who dance on a grave, tombstones at both ends.
After this, the donor said she loved the She loved the unique metaphor, and it had some nice turns of phrase and a lovely end. So, yeah. The Optimist Award, somebody needs to read again. It's Laverne Spencer McCarthy who wrote it.
I can do it.
Okay.
A Church on the Prairie. Our country church was built with love and care, where constant breezes blow and grasses sway. The faithful often congregate aware of peace and consolation as we pray for friends and neighbors. Strangers passing through are welcome at the altar made of pine, enhanced by prairie blooms of heaven's hue that somehow make our worship more divine. Though richer folk in cities might extol their chapel's worth with splendors that astound, our church was made for refuge of the soul, where spirit's finest treasures may be found. It does not boast of great cathedrals' fame, but God is there and blesses just the same.
Very, very sweet poem and very nice song. Hey, Bradley, you are ready to read again? You won the next one, number 12, I Remember Award.
There we go. Okay. For my father who taught me love. Surely there's a baseball diamond there where you could be the pitcher you were meant to be. There would be beaches with ice cream stands and real hot dogs with gobs of mustard leaking out. No bills you can't pay, no demands you can't meet. You'd have your 55 two-tone Chevy back, bright as new. Oh, and that odd sense of humor would have those angels rolling in heavenly aisles at your mangled puns. There'd be tons of swinging there, and not just chariots. Benny's boys and Glenn and Tommy too, all playing just for you. Funny, I never saw you dance, but I know you could. Cut a rug, Dad, and those pennies from heaven are all yours too. Thanks.
Outside the winner is not here. The reader again.
I can read this one.
Okay.
It's Carrie. That's the award, sorry. Fun for the whole family. The circus band blares a jaunty tune as the clown car buzzes outer ring, half a car size but packed with busloads of fun. Large polka dots and garish colors and big ooga horn adds to raving fun. Faster and faster the car tears around the oval, first on two wheels, then on one, finally jerking to a halt, center ring. A deafening blast, fountains of sparks and golden glitter burst from hood, tailpipe, and horn. The crowd wildly anticipating who knows how many clowns ejecting are surprised by second and much louder eruption accompanied by fiery swoosh. Silence sweeps arena, a shocking sports wave. Gloved hands flutter from windows, seeking purchase. A big red shoe kicks out back window, but no clown exits car as flames mock bright colors. Parents realize too late to cover the kiddie's eyes, but the smell of grease paint, wigs, and meat is too pervasive to blot out. It will be rehashed and investigated ad nauseum, but what was clear from the first spark, the revolution has started. The tyranny of clowns is over. Oh my gosh, I had no idea what I was going to be reading.
Yeah, rather outside. And
That's dark.
That's
I think there was a comment by Tony on this one, and he said the visuals in this poem are devastating, and the final stanza opens a whole new view, a whole new interpretation that is both topical and universal. Bravo. So he was totally enamored with this one.
What was the last sentence he said? It opens a whole new.
Interpretation.
And what's the rest of it?
He said that is the final stanza opens a whole new interpretation that is both topical and universal. Bravo.
Bravo.
Yeah, bravo means
Grovel.
congratulations.
Bravo. Bravo.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Okay, Bradley again. I hope you can read this one. Walls. I hope, well, you obviously all can read
And you
it
need to
really well.
unmute.
Hmm?
Brad
I'm
needs to
gonna,
unmute.
I'm gonna unmute it. I didn't hear the mention that I had won that one, so I'm just picking up the copy from where I hit it.
If you can read it off the screen, it would.
I'm not sure that I can. Here we are. I got it.
Okay.
I know I piled them up somewhere. Okay, walls, England and Wales. We've seen too many castles anyway. The moss-grown towers, the crumbling stones, the crooked stairs, where sometimes you think you hear the clank of rusted steel. We've crossed the crenellated hills, those Saxon skies of tumbled walls and sleeting clouds, to see the spaceship spires of yet another church reaching through the rain. Those solid blocks of gray-green stone weep slowly back to earth. The postcard towns with pictured pubs soon look the same. So even as the sun peeps through a chink of cloud, we gladly wave goodbye.
And this one spoke to me as somebody who has traveled a fair amount, and there comes a point when you reach that point, if yet another church peeking through the rain, and you say, oh man, it's all fine and nice the first time around, but after a while, the haiku Senryu delights. Claire, I think it's yours to read because
Okay.
it's yours.
Pink, salmon, white, blossoms, blanket, shrubs, azalea spree. Pink, salmon, white, blossoms, blanket, shrubs, azalea spree.
Oh, I made a mistake here. I should have put both first prize winners here, and I think I didn't. But at any rate, only one of you is here anyway. So, Barbara, it's yours to read.
Okay. I don't have much of a German accent, so Oktoberfest Umpa. Guten Morgen, y'all. In Fredericksburg, where my German roots run deep, we're celebrating Oktoberfest for better and for worse. Actually, we could call it Oktoberfest. Those 15th century farmers drank their stock of old beer in September to make room for the new. By October, no one even knew where their lederhosen were. We have carnival booths and rides, but those are just the filling in the Berliner Pfannkuchen. We boast Reinheitsgebot, arts, crafts, folk music spieled out by accordion and tubermeisters, plus wiener dog races, mustard and buns, freiwillig. And because too much of a good thing is never enough, we ingest pretzels, Stalin, bratwurst, and sauerkraut, grilled ham hock, cobblers, knödel, kartoffelpuffer, and obatsta. After that, we polka, so we can have our strudel and shed it too.
Ever read it again? It's Pfannkuchen. The CH.
Yeah.
Krista should read it for us now.
Yeah.
No. It's fine. I'm just, in case you have to read it out loud again, I just tell you.
I hope I never do.
Yeah, and I don't know what Obatska is. That's something I don't know.
And I've forgotten. It's been a while since I wrote that.
Okay, here comes now again somebody who is not here. Laverne Spencer McCarthy with the Shakespearean sonnet. And who wants to read it?
I could read it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Raucous rhythms. He played his fiddle. Squawk, said the parrot, or the parrot said. It watched the young musician ply his bow. It did not do a funky dance. Instead, it grumbled many bad words in a row. The player then began a country reel. The bird might tolerate that lively air, but no, it pulled its feathers out with zeal, sat sullen on its perch, aloof and bare. At 10 o'clock, as rivals often do, musician and his nemesis began their wildest rhythms, later leading to a blast of spite afflicting bird and man. They carried on till night was on the wane. The parrot died. The fiddler went insane. What was the name of that contest? Oh, it was a Shakespearean sonnet. Yeah.
Shakespearean sonnet, and to which the Tony, who had given it and judged it, said, "What a unique subject to this particular poem! It embodies Shakespeare's classic tragic-comic concept. Flows, builds, and the final couplet is very it's very final." What did I do here with all of this? So he was quite taken with this one. He was not so much taken with the other ones, and said, well, I had to choose one with the head and one with the heart, because he wasn't really sure about the poems that were offered in these two here. James, it is your turn now again for one of the big ones. If you could read it, please.
Sure, this is a modern sonnet. If you call me, I'll live next month under a pleasure wave the size of Lake Travis. See 700 colors of pinwheels like bright fish floating past. Scream, air bubbles bursting to the surface. Float for hours, Medusa tendrils stretched to the far horizon. I'll worry. Will you long for the shoulders of Achilles, the waist of a stair? Will it be me who makes you want to leap into bed like a porpoise? Will I one day slip into bachelor routines, oblivious as you sob in the next room? Will I become lost, a fallen tree, when you most need my strength? I want to know why you're calling. Is it good news? The best news? I want to know what took you so long. And if you ask your girlfriends what they thought before you called, perhaps you texted them while having ice cream for breakfast. I don't have answers, except I want you to be the one I figure them out with. If you never call me, it's okay.
To this, the judge said, I love the emotional, personal power of this verse evokes. Dealing with a dubious and uncertain future with Zen calmness, I admire the rhythms, the cadence, the sweep of wave lines. I like the use of classical and Hollywood allusions. Most of all, I like the concision of expression, approaching the theme of future with nervous anxiety and then releasing it with a stoic acceptance, reminding one of the best of Rumi. So much for this poem and its comment. And then comes the final wonderful picture of Alita took, and this is the winner for the anthology, and it's called Austin the Beautiful.
Very nice.
It's lovely.
That's right behind my apartment building. I see that every day.
What is the restaurant that patio belongs to?
Alta's. It's at the rowing club.
Ah.
Alta is Lady Bird Johnson's middle name.
Ah.
On Lady Bird Lake and the hiking bike trail.
It's lovely, and the reflection in the water.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes.
This ends my presentation, and
Well done, Krista. You did a beautiful job.
so anyway, and all the winners, I hope you're all happy, those of you who won and those who just got maybe an honorable mention or even nothing. But you know, you all made an effort, so that's the big thing. Thank you for making the effort.
I did want to say one thing, that my name was misprinted. So my middle initial is J, as in Jane. So Susan J, not S. Just so
Oh,
you know.
I'm sorry. I don't know where this came from. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Krista, for presenting all of those and everyone for entering. I'm going to stop the recording since
one more thing I need to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Since we normally would hand over checks at this point, I want you to know the checks are in the mail, literally, because I gave the list to Mike Jones about a week or two ago, and he wrote to me and said, yes, the checks are ready, they will be mailed today. So you should expect early next week. Some of you, some pretty fat checks, some not so fat checks, but anyway, you all made an effort. Thank you so much.
Well, we
Thank
can
you.
stay on the meeting. I know some of you had questions about the future or non-future of APS, or even just a chat or whatever, but I am going to stop the recording now.